Hello and welcome back. This is all the art I made in the last month, so 30 days. The first one I did was Indoclaris, which, heads up, this was kind of the test creature I did for a lot of my gel prints for this month because I was getting back into it and I haven't done gel prints in a couple of years, so yeah. So you see them a lot here, that's why. So the first one, ultimately one of the better ones, to be honest, looks good. And I did like a color palette of blue-green, red-violet. Yeah, that's about it, really. And the white did pop out. I do kind of like that. It just looks clean. It looks nice. So yeah, moving on to the next one. The next one I did was I did more of like a green color palette, which it does look good. Kind of reminds me of algae for some reason. But yeah. The only complaint I had, I kind of messed up the main squid itself. I just think it's too bright. But yeah. The next one I did, guess what? Indoclaris! Claris? I am probably butchering that name, but yeah. So this one I tried experimenting with like a brick pattern to it. It did not work. Yeah, and also did ruin the stencil, so yay! That was fun to clean. So yeah. This one I do kind of like the actual creature itself. I just like it. So yeah. The next one I did, immediately back to a better start, was, guess what? Indoclaris! The fourth or fifth. I drew these, I painted these guys for like 2 weeks, so I did do a handful of them. This one was a bit more, what's the word? I do like it. I kind of went back instead of overthinking things, kind of just kept it simple, which you can look at it. It looks pretty simple and it looks good. Didn't overdo it. And the last one of these is, again, guess what? Indoclaris. Claris. Anyways, this one, I tried something different, kind of put a handprint in there, so yeah. And I did try to do a pattern, so there'd be like a pattern within the handprint. You can kind of see it, not really-ish, so yeah. Which, sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it. But it's very subtle, which I kind of wish wasn't so subtle. So yeah, the next one I did, I kind of went back. I think this is the only traditional one I did that wasn't gel prints. So yeah. Anyways, the leopard shark, which is a really cool looking shark. Yeah. So, leopard sharks, kind of in the name, has a ton of spots all over the body of it. And I tried recreating that by using watercolor and a pinch of salt, because the salt will absorb the water in watercolor, so therefore a little bit of the color, the dye and paint, whatever you want to call it. And yeah. I think it didn't turn out as well is because two things. I used a bit too much salt, kind of drowned it in salt, didn't really work. And B, the colors were too similar, so it made a very subtle change. Which, it's okay. I kind of just went back with Posco marker and added a bit more spots to it, which, fixed it. Yeah. So the background, I did find one of my old rubber prints, which I used that, just printed it on there 3 times, and yeah, got the whole page filled up with the wave patterns. But yeah, that was the whole point of it. It was supposed to be waves. So, yeah, I didn't want to copy it from someone else, so made my own. And the background, I did, some tingle patterns. I haven't done them in a while. They look okay. Try to do some different stuff to it, and yeah. And the next one, back to the gel prints, I did the Spotted Eagle Ray. That's a handful, but yeah. So this one, kind of in the name, is a stingray. And reason why it's called eagle, I'm just going to assume because look up from the top POV, it looks like a bird. And what's a better bird than an eagle? So yeah. This one, got some new skates, what the hell? I don't know what you call them, but I got some new patterns, and kind of just, went over it, and it didn't really work out that well. And also, I think the colors I picked was just awful, bad. yeah, red-violet and red-orange doesn't really mix very well, especially if the orange is not vibrant, doesn't pop. Anyways, so the patterns I did on here, I like. Some people are probably not gonna like it. They're gonna see it as too messy, which, no, they're not wrong. It is messy. I like it either. I want it messy or clean, one or the other. So, yeah. The next one I did, I kind of mixed things up by having multiple patterns on there, which you can see. It turned out okay. And yeah. And this one had like 3 layers. The second layer you can't really see. It's a bit subtle, but yeah. And the main one I drew or painted was a hammerhead shark. Which, yeah, it was okay. I tried mixing things up by adding a bit of colored pencil into it, which you can't really see, which, kind of get rid of the whole point of it. Hence why I don't do colored pencil a lot. Anyways, the next one is the uncommon worm. It's just a plain common ground worm. Yeah, it's not very that special. The reason why I picked it was kind of based off like the earth, mainly because of people litter, unfortunately. Hence why I used the. So for the gel print, I just took some crushed soda cans and just pulled some paint off of it, and that's how I got the pattern for the background, which turned out okay. Actually, I do like this one a lot. But yeah, like I said, I picked the ground worm just because it was outside, decomposes stuff. I doubt they decompose cans, metal, but hey, it is called the uncommon earthworm. At least that's what I'm calling it. I just think it's funny. Anyways, I did try that can thing one more time. The color palette made it a bit more subtle, but, looks good. And yeah. And I did try color pencil again, just for like the patterns on the Nautilus, which, made it okay. Not the best one in the world, but yeah. I do like the corner, so I did try some patterns there and, made it pop out a bit, I don't know. It added another layer to it. And, yeah, one problem with gel prints, if you live in a dry place and the paint dries very quickly, it is much harder to do. Unless you want to waste more paint, then, yeah. So, yeah, you kind of see what happened on the bottom, where the paint kind of dried too fast, and instead of getting drying on top of the paper, it dried onto the print itself, which... not hard to clean, but it did kind of ruin the bottom piece of it. So, not ideal. And the second to last one is a pufferfish. A messed up pufferfish that looked like a 3-year-old drew it, but that's kind of the point. It's supposed to look bad, because I think the background looks bad. It looks terrible. Like, outside of the patterns, which kind of did fix it a tiny bit. The rest of it sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Did some reverse pattern printing, didn't really work. Kind of just got smeared, which, yeah. If you like it, you like it. I personally don't. And moving on to the last one, the amazing Bobbit worm. Really fun name to say, Bobbit worm. I'm surprised no one talks about these guys. They're a really cool animal. So yeah, this one, I was trying to do some reverse, kind of pull the paint off the gel print, kind of make some interesting patterns. I'm not sure, I might have added a tiny bit too much paint, so it didn't really work out well. You can kind of see what I was going for in the bottom right corner, which, again, that's kind of what happens when you add too much paint by accident. You can't really, pull it off very easily. So, I just took my hand, slapped it like 2 times. And I took a cup and, smacked it against it, pulled some paint off, and yeah. So that's why there's just random spots of white and blue-green in there. Got a bit more a navy color, but yeah. The background, the second and third layer I do like. I do like the contrast of it, and it looks good. The actual worm itself, I feel like I could do better. Did mess it up a tiny bit, but yeah. And if you don't know what a bobbit worm is, it's a aquatic worm that is known for to cut fish in half. They are 10 feet long. They kind of sit. They bury their body into the sand, and when a fish swims by, it usually chomps it. Sometimes with enough force to chop it in half, but most of the time it doesn't. But here's the terrifying part: it drags it under the sand and eats it alive. So that's fun. Another sort of like pits-like animal. Like these guys would be friends with the antlion if they went and drown in land. Dehydrate? Yeah, I guess dehydrate would be the proper word. So yeah. Anyways, I like it. It looks cool. Like I said, even though I messed up the body a bit there, but it's it's okay. So yeah, that is all the stuff I made in this month. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the video helped you out if you had art block, which I don't know. I don't know why you're watching this, but hope it helps. And yeah. So yeah, that's everything. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching the video. Have a good rest of your day, and bye.